Well, hello everyone. My name is Matt, and I am the youth and family pastor at Cornerstone Church in Marshfield, and I'm here today with your Cornerstone Connection, a daily devotional. So we're going to be in the book of Jeremiah today, and so if you have a Bible, go ahead and turn to find the book of Jeremiah and find chapter 9. We're going to be at the end of chapter 9, just in a couple of verses. But before we get there, I just want to share this thought, this observation from this recent season that we just made our way through. With the presidential election and election of other offices, right, in our country. And I wonder, I'm sure many of you may have tuned in to one or both of the presidential debates, and perhaps you tuned into the vice presidential debate as well. But as you did, you probably noticed the approach of each candidate, right? During their time of debate, they are either boasting or talking about what good they have done, or they're pointing the finger to the other side and saying what that person or party hasn't done well, or what they have done has been done very, very poorly. And this is how these debates go, right? It's a total boast in what we have done, what I have done, our political party has done, and it's all been good, and what they have done is no good, and all of that. But you know what? That kind of behavior, that kind of boasting isn't limited to politics. This is very normal for us as humans, right? Even just in our normal conversations with folks, whether it's out in public or at church or in a store or in our workplace, it is so normal for us, without even noticing at times, to boast in ourselves. And what do we usually boast in? Well, we generally boast in the things that we feel give us value or give us worth. And it's interesting as we open up to the text here today in Jeremiah chapter 9, and we'll be in verses 23 and 24, we see the stark contrast. We see what man generally values and what he puts his worth in, and then we see this is what God values. And he lets us know, hey, if you're going to boast, this is what you should boast in. Don't boast about these things, these don't matter, but boast about this stuff. So let's see what God has to say as he speaks through the prophet Jeremiah in chapter 9, verses 23 and 24. Here's what it says. This is what the Lord says. Let not the wise man boast of his wisdom, or the strong man boast of his strength, or the rich man boast of his riches. Very normal for us, right? If we deem ourselves wise, we boast of our wisdom. If we deem ourselves strong, we boast of our strength. If we deem ourselves rich, we boast in our riches sometimes, right? Verse 24, but let him who boasts boast about this, that he understands and knows me, that I am the Lord, who exercises kindness, justice, and righteousness on earth. For in these I delight, declares the Lord. I love that. God says, I don't delight in your wisdom and your strength and your riches. I delight in my kindness. I delight in my justice. I delight in my righteousness being worked out through you because I live in you, right? I love this. And I use a commentary called Enduring Word by Bible commentator David Guzik. And I love how he kind of unpacks these three things that God lays out. This kindness, this justice, and this righteousness. And he lets us know, as we understand and know God, which is what God says, hey, this is what you should put your value in, this is what you should put your worth in, is knowing me and understanding me. You come into an encounter with these characteristics of who God is, okay? So first, with his kindness, Guzik says, when we encounter his kindness, we're encountering his hesed or covenant love that God has with us, his people. That's this loving kindness. He says when we encounter God and we encounter his justice or his judgment, we are encountering his discernment between what is right and wrong. This is a great thing to know and to have, right? And he says when we encounter God and we encounter his righteousness, we are encountering his absolute goodness and purity of moral character that he wants to work out through his people. And so God says, these are the things I delight in. And so friends, let me challenge you, encourage you today, as I do to myself. When those opportunities arise for you to speak of the great things that you have, the wisdom you have, the strength you have, the riches you have, whatever it might be, consider what Jeremiah says, that if we're going to boast, let's boast in the Lord, that we know Him, that we understand Him, and that we know and have encountered His kindness, His righteousness, and His justice. Be encouraged today, friends, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Cornerstone Connection. Have a great day.